Torah, we're going to start Parshat Vayishlach, page Chav Daled, all the way at the bottom of the page. The pasuk says, "Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav al Esav achiv." Yaakov sent malachim to Esav, his brother, to try to make a peace treaty. It's like today's peace treaties. Yaakov comes in the level of Ma, which is Tikkun. We learned many times, the greater the thing, the lower it falls. Yaakov, Yaakov is a level of... Avram Marani is sponsoring today's class.
Beautiful, thank you.
So, Yaakov Avinu is the level of Tikkun, Esav is the level of Tehu. The earth is to Tehu, when the revelations of Tehu and G'deilim are very great. Therefore, like it says the Lashon Kabbalah, Eretz Merubim v'Kelim Mu'atim. The revelation of Tehu were very strong, a lot, abundant, and the Kelim were too small. So when you put something too big into a smaller Keli, the Keli breaks. Therefore, what it means, by the way, it says the expression that, Shviras HaKelim, the Kelim broke. But the Rebbe says in 2 words what it means. It means because the ord was too great for the Keli, it wasn't breaking, the glass broke, The ord left the Keli. And as the Keli couldn't handle the ord, so there was no ord in the Keli.
But the Kelis didn't shatter, it was break.
The expression is Shviras HaKelim. Okay. But obviously we're thinking physical breaking of a dish. There to the level of Bechinas Makim. So the earth left, the Kelim came down. Therefore Esav down here, because the Kelim fell very far down. So Esav was a Rasha. But what is his source? In Makifim of Tehu, how the earth is the Tehu and L'maylam is the Tikkun. Like Amir Tashamo explained, and the Pasuk Yikav min Abba biyodi mincha. Or Kamesh's bar also. Okay. So therefore he says like this: Esav is Tehu, Yaakov is Tikkun. Esav in the source is higher than Yaakov. Period.
And that's what Isaac saw.
That's what Yitzchak saw. Not saw. He knew that, and therefore he wanted to reveal the source of Esav down here.
And eventually
it will happen when Mashiach comes. Yaakov Choshav. Now Yaakov is meeting Esav. So Yaakov thought Esav nisbared kvar, that Esav is already refined. So Yaakov Avinu thought, okay, Esav probably did tshuva. It's 22 years already. He probably did tshuva. He went back to the source. He's not a Rosh anymore. He probably went back to the source of the Kelim of Tehu, and the earth of Tehu. Moreover, when he sent the Lefanav means before him. Meaning, Yaakov is Tikkun, higher than Yaakov is Tehu, Lefanav. So he said, Malachim lefanav, al bachin shelamayla mimenu, with the higher than Yaakov Avinu, b'madreget shel Esav achiv seira, to the level of Esav and Sa'ir, which is the level of Tehu, which the Malkin Kadmor and the Tehu, which are the Malachim from the world of Tehu. Makir bechinas makif manal. Why did Yaakov Avinu want to do this? What did he care to refine Esav? What's his business? What Yaakov Avinu wanted, he thought like this. Esav is back in the Gilu of Tehu. Very lofty levels. I'm only Tikkun. Let me refine Esav with these gifts, that Esav will be mamshech, the earth of Tehu, who'll bring down the Tehu into him, into Tikkun. And they'll become together, Tehu and Tikkun together. So that's why Yaakov Avinu thought that Esav was already refined. So he's already the Gilui now of Eretz of Tehu. So he thought, let me get the Eretz of Tehu down here by me in Tikkun. And therefore he told him, but that's what he says, Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanov. Why does he have to say lefanov? He said, Vayishlach Yaakov malachim el Esav achiv. Right, the pasuk says, "Yishlach Yaakov malachim el Esav." Why is he lefanov? Now, but that's the simple meaning. But in the previous is Yaakov sent the level lefanov higher than Yaakov Avinu to the world of Teil, and that's why he said, "Kaisem no adaini leEsav im Lavan garti vayili shor v'chamer." I lived by Lavan and I had shor and chamer. Hainu sheidi or Yaakov let Esav know shekvar nigma v'nishtam kol seder atikun of atzilus b'tachlis hashleimus. Yaakov says like this, again, this is the way holy people of Chumash are talking. Okay, Yaakov said like this, I want the earth of Teil coming into Tikkun. But in order for that to happen, Tikkun has to be perfect. So Yaakov Avinu says to him, I have a shor of chamor, meaning, kol abachinu samadrega she'ebeilam atzilus, shor v'chamer, tzein v'eved v'shivcha, which are different levels of atzilus. They were already all refined. The kalim of Tikkun are ready for you. Now let's get the earth of Teil down here.
Whose shorish was higher, Lavan or Esav?
I don't know. We'll figure it out one day.
Shor is Yosef, right?
I don't know. It says Esav's Teil. Lavan's Levin Elyon.
Rabbi, Shor is Yosef and Chamor is Yisachar, no? Isn't that like?
Okay, correct. But that's not what he's saying here. He's saying here that I have all the levels of Atzilus are done, and that's what it said by Hili. What did Yaakov Avinu say? Because why Vayilu Shor Chamor? Because im Lavan Garti. Now what is Lavan? Levin Ha'elyon. Pirush Levin Shemishama Yeika Kerech HaShefel Yaakov. Bal Elam Atzilis. Where did Yaakov's hashpah come? From Levin or Elyon, which is also what's Esav Lavan. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But bottom line is it comes from Levin or Elyon, which is able to refine everything. Like we learned in the other Maimer that Levin or Elyon is above Ord and Cheshach and everything. So how can I elevate the world? Because I tapped into a level which is higher than all that. Im Lavan Garti. So Yaakov Avinu is sending him a message. Listen, my brother. Now that I finished all the kelim of Tikkun, they're all ready. So now you can give me tail. He says, because if Yaakov Avinu didn't refine Tikkun completely, then you can't have makifim. Why? Because a makif coming into a primi needs a vessel. The vessel has to be perfect. Because the bracha cannot rest in an empty place. It needs a keli. Elabasa shlim only in a complete place. So he says, but now that I did everything that I needed to do, it's a complete place. Okay, this is what the dialogue between Yaakov and Esav is going. Well, really, it's a monologue right now. Yaakov Avinu says, I did everything, the kelim are there, I want the order. To find favor, what's the favor? Which is the mitzias achein. That's why I'm asking you for chein. What mercy am I asking you? What charm am I asking for you? You should bring down, give me your earnest ateu. Because because now that I was by Lavan's house, yeah, by Hili, Yaakov Avinu says, to my level became all the levels of Tikkun, Shar, Chamar, Tain, Ve'eved, V'shivcha, and I transformed already darkness to light in the world of Tikkun. V'adeza asar shlim mamish, im kein roi ani limtzichem beinecha, that is be'ashras ha'bracha, level of makif. This is what I'm asking you. So the pasuk continues, Shova malachim al Yaakov leimer. So now the malachim come back, the messengers come back to Yaakov. And he said, Banu lechicha le'Esav, v'gam hei lechikros b'ameis ishimei. What are they answering him? They told Yaakov that we came, and he's Esav achicha, and he's coming to meet you with 400 men. What are they telling him? B'shuva samalachim hu kach is as follows. They told Yaakov, you might be ready. You might be finished tikkun. You might be ready for the Giluyim of Tehu, but they ain't happening. And you're fit to have the Makifim of Tehu because Nims Chabach Hashem Mishal Tikkun. Avamala says, but what could we do? That the Meni is mitzad Esav Achicha. What do you mean, Esav, your brother? Sha'adayin lemata b'china shvira v'lein izbarer adayin klal. Esav is not back to the source yet. He's all the way down here in the lowest of levels as a Rasha. So how in the wood? You might be ready. You know, it's like they asked him, a guy collecting for tzedakah, they asked him if he was successful. He said, yeah, 50%. He said, what do you mean 50? The poor are willing to take, the rich are not willing to give. It's 50%. So he's basically saying, you might be ready, the receiver might be ready, but the giver is not ready. So now he says, how do we know this? They didn't even speak to Esav. How do they know it? Okay? Whatever. There's a little kabbalah coming up. He says, how do we know? Because he's coming with 400 men. What's the chiddush with 400 men? What's the difference? How many people he's coming with? He said, Peter's Daled Meis Ish are dinim koshim shochitzenim, are the harsh dinim of the external levels that come from the test, but the tafamim. The 400 bati dinim koshim nishtachim shekos b'idr Rabba. It says in Idr Rabba that there's 400 evil force of Bezdin, v'nei the shushay the shosim shel Daled Meis Ish, come from the Daled Meis Shakel Kesef Shenas and Avram Avinu v'Shom le'Efrim. Sounds like this. This is all it says in Kabbalah. Avram Avinu gave Ephraim 400 shekel kesef. Shadal Meis Shakel with tough almond chsufim the Yaset Tzaddik Elamad Asa. That's the level that of longing that the tzaddikim get lost in love. Hainu Shem She'er the Shefa Eine Gal Yenim that come from Ati Kadisha, which is the Mamut. I'll explain this whole thing in a second. Bin Atma Saint of Leila Matzilis. Sounds like this. The 400 shekel kesef, says in Kabbalah, were the 400 worlds that tzaddikim are going to get in the world to come, which are the level of Eine Ga'elyon that come from Atik, because Atik is the intermediary, the mamutza between Atzmas and world, like we learned, and Atik is the higher level of the two, Arich and Atik, Shubachimut, Knei Shaketz, Mutzabein HaMaitel and Atzolim. Umisham Nimshachas Hashpos Eine Ga'elyon Tzaddikim Lasud Lavi. And therefore Avram Avinu actually was mashpia to Ephraim the 400 levels of Kedusha that will be Lasud Lavi. V'zelion Tov Alman D'Chsufim, which are Daled Meir Shekel Kesef. V'nikra Oiver LaSeicher. Why is it called Oiver LaSeicher? Simply means that all business people accept it. But he says no. Seicher comes from the word schor. The Gemara says schor means makif, circles. Schor is makif. Oiver LaSeicher means higher than seicher, higher than the makifim level. The tough almond chsufim. These 400 worlds, which comes from Atzmas Ein Tov, which is even higher than Kesed. The Eiver v'nishachim ya'Kesed misham nehel tzadikim l'asulavi. So he says like this: Avram Avinu was mamshech very lofty levels in that business deal. Besides the fact that we said many times the Sefer Kopanei Chroza, the Rabbi brings it down that he says that according to the Cheshbon, The Torah later in Bechukos speaks about redeeming fields, a base cord, for 50 shekel. If you makdish it, you want to redeem it, there's 50 shekel for a base cord. A base cord is 75,000 square amas. Okay? That's for 50 shekel kesef. He paid 400 shekel kesef, that's 8 times 75,000. 8 times 75,000 is 600,000. So it says in Panei Achroza, that brings it down to the Sikha, that when Avraham Avinu bought Maris and Machpelah for 400 shekel, he actually bought 600,000 square amas in Eretz Yisrael, 1 amma per Jew. So every Jew has a chelik in Eretz Yisrael. That's that. But here he's saying the Arba Meir shekel kesef are the Daled Meirs Nahedin of tzaddikim, lots of love it. They're going to get to these lofty levels. Avram was mamshechit, and what level was it? Eiver lasechet, higher than the level of makif. Schar is makif. Eiver lasechet means it's coming from the level of atmas ein tov, which is even higher than makif. And then he said, "V'inasin alafim b'derech yedida beirudim kidei leitzim achigach menem b'teitzis brach." Right? So 1 second. So Avraham Avinu wanted to elevate that level. What happened? But he said, Beini u'beincha mahi. Beina lebeina. Meanwhile, he says, Shoyardu lamata v'nas b'chinas Daud meretz ish Esav.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. So in the Pearl, so he's explaining, how did the Malachim know? It's very interesting. How did the Malachim know? So Rashi says, by the way, there's 2 opinions in Medrash. What does malachim mean? Rashi malachim mamish means mamish malachim. Right? Another opinion says no messengers are called malachim. She says, so why did Yaakov Avinu send malachim? So simply the pshat is because you're not allowed to send people to a dangerous situation. Yaakov Avinu didn't know. We're talking about the simple pshat. Yaakov Avinu didn't know who Esav was going to be. If you're going to send malachim to Esav, he might kill them. So therefore he couldn't send the normal people. So he said malachim. Or as the Maggid said the last Saturday in the Shabbos that he lived, because Maggid's Yortzeit is also Yitzchak Kislev. But Yishlach Yaakov malachim mamish. The Rebbe is saying in many sichas that he sent the mamish of the malachim. He sent the tangible level of the angels. But the essence of the angels he kept by him. So Esav, the Malachim are coming back. That makes sense. If they were Malachim, they understood this whole Kabbalistic discussion. The Malachim come back and they said, you thought you can elevate Esav. Yeah, you're ready. You got tikkun already for the show. But Esav's not ready. How do I know? Because he has Daled Meis Ish Imei. That's the evil that with the hashpah down here that came from the Arba Meir Shekel Kesef of Avraham Avinu. Just like the level of Teo is higher than Tikkun and comes all the way down low, the Daled Meir Shekel Kesef, Eivel HaSechet, that Avraham Avinu was mashpia from Atzmas, higher than the level of Makifim, but the pearl, it came all the way down to Daled Meir Ish Imei.
And that's why he's not ready?
That's why he's not ready.
And Rivka knew that.
Yeah, but you're talking, now we're past that stage already.
Where did
Rivka died already. What?
Yaakov get the power to send malachim?
To send a drone.
1 minute. You have a problem how Yaakov controlled Malachim? No, I mean that's your main problem in the world? How Yaakov was able to send Malachim? By the way, the Malachim in his dream, Olam v'Yordam Bay. Correct? Okay. When he came back, it says, Vayifku by Malach Elikim. The Malachim Mamish met him. Paga means they met. Real Malachim met him. That's what it says in the Pasuk. The end of Vayishta. Vayifku by Malach Elikim. No. So the Rebbe explains, in a Maimon, the Rebbe says that before he went to Lavan, he only saw the Malachim in a dream. After he came back from Lavan, Vayifku by Malach Elikim. And that's the end of Vayetze. Vayifku by Malach Elikim, right? In the end of this week's Parsha. The Malachim met him, actual tangible angels. Why? Because Yaakov, by being Mahapach, Lavan to Kedusha, he reached a level that he was able to see tangible Malachim.
Also in the house of Abraham, malachim were
Coming and going.
coming and
Yeah.
Hashem spoke to Yaakov.
Because the Yidden are higher than the Malachim, right? So what's the problem getting to the Malachim for Yaakov?
It says, the Friedrich Rebbe in the Maimon, Tovshin brings down, it says, Malach b'shlisha elam ha'beit. A Malach stands in the third of the world. And he brings down the Maimon, there's two interpretations. Either it's 3 times the world, or it's a third of the world. Nevertheless, it says when there's 10 Jews in a room, not even learning, they're just sitting. I mean, obviously not doing Avedas. They're just sitting. The Kedusha is so great that a Malach explodes. A Malach platzes. A Malach can't come into the world, into a place where there's 10. The Kedusha of 10 Jews just sitting there doing nothing is so great that as great as a Malach is, that is 3 times the world or a third of the world, it platzes, it explodes because it's not too much Kedusha. It's platzed.
God forbid, if somebody wants, a malach wants to come and take somebody's life.
It's called the Malach HaMavet.
God forbid. It should be on time. But if he's sitting with the 10 people and praying and davening, he cannot do it.
That's why the Malach HaMavet couldn't get David HaMelech. The Malach HaMavet couldn't get Rabbi. Right, first page of the Torah. First Malach HaMavet lo yachal lish leidbei. But even without learning, the Kedusha is too great.
Right. Sitting and saying,
No, not the... Okay, it says, that's the level of sak. It says, Al b'shemayim kaderes, Hashem says, I'll dress the heaven with pots, the sak osim ksusam. I will make their clothing sak. Right, it says Chagar Beis Masnau. We say in Neshus Chayil, right? So it says Chagar Sak. There's also a pasuk. Hainu shenesav u'b'chinas levush sak. Shachitzein im kemimenu. Sak is sak ve'efer. The sak represents Avelis. It represents a very low level. That from this kedel level of kedusha of Dalid Meir Shekel Keser Ever L'Secher comes a level of sak. Shachitzein im la'asad love b'gemar g'oleh beirudim. But yet la'asad love when everything will be refined, like Yaakov Avinu did them with Tikkun, she'yavul ha'mavis l'netzach v'sruch ha'tom ha'avim in ha'aretz, then yachzer Ephraim adalid me'er shekel kesed l'shoshen ala kedusha b'shleimus. Ephraim is going to return spiritually. It's going to return the dalid me'er shekel kesed to where it came from, which is the Dalid Meis Over Lasecha, higher than even Makif level. And then, okay, so he says like that's what happened. So the Malachim are coming back and says the Imei Arba Meis Ish. They're with Esav still. They're in the lowest of levels. Mi'ata Yalva Yada Yaakov. So there, from there, Yaakov Avinu knew She'ashbi'ev She'ashbi'la Esav Mishasha Samak the Teil. Asher Mevakesh. So Yaakov Avinu was asking him for the herders of Teil. Yaakov Avinu now, by the response of the Malachim, he knew that it's not happening. So what did Yaakov Avinu do? So what Yaakov wanted to do, he said, okay, I need the makif. Tikkun is all ready. I want the makif level. So normally I thought, okay, Esav will do it. He says Esav ain't doing it because Esav is still down here with Daled Meir Sishiv Klipa. So he says, okay, I'll do it myself. I'll do it myself. Because Yaakov Avinu wanted to bring down this makif, he had to do Mayim Nuk for Minas Sarusa de Lasata. Yaakov Avinu had to do Avodah to bring down Tehu. That's why now Yaakov sent a gift, which is again interesting, if you think about it. Before Yaakov sent the gift, he wanted to find out from Esav. Yeshua Malachim, okay, he's bad. It ain't happening. So then Yaakov decided to send a gift. Why did he send the gift afterwards? He thought he'll do it straight with Esav. He saw Esav's not doing it, so he says, okay, I have to do Aveda, I have to bring a mincha. I have to do my Aveda, and therefore, like we learned, remember if you last year, he brought all those treifa animals as gifts to Esav. Mincha, the pasuk calls it mincha. Now mincha means a gift. But mincha is a carbon, it's called carbon mincha. Karbanis are called mincha.
He could have bring a kosher animal for the same.
No, that's why dafka treifa animals that come from Tehu.
Oh, that's
Yaakov Avinu now wanted to bring down the level of Tehu. He thought he'll get it with Esav. He said it's not working. So he said, okay, I got to do it myself. I have to bring a carbon. But not a carbon like it will be when Mashiach, when in the base of Mikdash of kosher animals. I have to give him Tehu animals.
Rabbi, what was the significance of 400? I missed it.
It's Kabbalistic because there's 400 evil powers, and Avraham Avinu, it was first in Kedusha that Avraham Avinu gave effort in this 400 shekel, which was all Kedusha from a lofty level, but then at Lepel, when it fell down through Ephraim, it fell down all the way down. Like Tehu was super high, it fell down super low. So the Dal Meir Shekel Kesed that Avraham Avinu bought, Mardus and Machpelah, and every Jew, and all these things.
Why every Jew? Because Abraham is the father of going to.
Yeah, but he's still our father.
Anybody home?
This concept of
Ishmael's the father of the what?
the highest it is, the lowest it falls,
Yes.
is fundamental. It explains a lot of things in Chassidus.
No, that is fundamental Chassidus.
Yes.
I mean, it brings things.
It's a fundamental principle of Chassidus.
Foundation.
And therefore, u begins laam sich mad makiv the tail. Lochein shalach gemalim. That's finished the maimer. Lochein shalach gemalim. Therefore, he sent gema avshem behemis tmeis. Why is he sending a gift carbon? It's a mincha. He's sending a carbon. Yeah. Why is he sending treifa animals when it's not a kosher carbon? He says kilagabi makif. In the makif level of tehu. Chashecha ka'eda. So Yaakov says, okay, I have to reach the level of Tehu. I need to bring the level of Tehu. No, this is the Aveda that Yaakov Avinu wanted to bring down the level of Makif of Tehu. So he thought to get it to Esav. Esav's not ready, so he did it himself. He tried to.
Over and over. He did it in the Laban's house. He did it.
In Laban's house, he fixed Tikkun.
So in order to bring Torah down, you have to fix Tikkun.
Correct.
In order to affect somebody else, you have to elevate yourself first.
Correct.
I mean, that's why we get so heavy and want to give Esav a bracha, because of that. Elevate that level, right?
Yes.